This is probably going to be the only video I make on this person because frankly at the end of the day, this all goes and gives them exactly what they want. That person I'm talking about is Trisha Paytas, if you haven't read the title of the video or bothered to look at the thumbnail. Trisha is someone who needs no introduction due to her long presence on the internet and all the negative drama she causes. She's somebody who thrives off any attention thrown her way, most of it being negative, and yet somehow she still has a platform with millions of followers, and the fans that she does have are fiercely defensive of her, oddly enough. As someone on this platform who just makes videos for fun and for my friends to watch, I think I'm kind of taking a risk at attracting her fans because it seems like all you need to do these days on the internet is say her name 3 times and her stands are all up in your feed. Now the reason I'm bringing Trisha up now is that it can be traced back to this whole drama surrounding the dinner with the D'Amelios clip that surfaced last week of Dixie and Charlie apparently being rude while they were eating a meal cooked by their personal chef. Now I'm not exactly going to talk too much about like the clip or dive into it or why people got upset about the video in particular because it's been talked about enough. I'll leave clips from the original video, like from the D'Amelio family, in the description so you can take a look and form your own opinions. But to address the elephant in the room, I don't believe that Charlie and Dixie deserve to be canceled, and to clarify, I'm not a fan of either one of them. I don't exactly spend a lot of time on TikTok because the kind of content on there isn't really that interesting to me, but frankly, there's way worse things someone can do on the internet, and the idea that they should be canceled over some supposed bad table manners just feeds into the whole cancel culture and people's hyper-obsession with being flawless or the most politically correct on the internet, and I'm just not about that. I also don't really understand why Charlie is the one getting the brunt of the hate, because watching the clip, you can tell that Dixie is the one who is being the most dramatic and disrespectful. Another thing I don't really understand is that the chef from the video that everybody's been demanding Charlie and Dixie apologize to, he even came out and said that he wasn't that offended and there were parts of the final cut that were dramatized for entertainment purposes, and yet despite all that, people just decide to continue the drama. However, there was one clip at the end that did get people really upset, and I will say that I understand why.
Because imagine if I hit 100 mil a year after hitting a mil.
Was the 95 not enough for you?
Okay, like, can we just appreciate James Charles's like statement for a second? I know he was kind of like poking fun at the whole situation and joking with Charlie, but like, we stan. Like, I'm not a big fan of James Charles, really. I don't watch him or anything, but God, like that's just fucking hilarious. This is the one thing that I am going to sympathize with people who are angry about the situation, because it does kind of come off as caring more about the numbers more than having that appreciation of the fans you have. Overall, I do think that clip should have just been cut out because all it did is it made Charlie look bad. She never really meant for anybody to get hurt. She wasn't trying to be malicious. I just think it was taken out of context. This does bring up a major issue I have with social media in general, and that's the whole concept of defining your worth based on how many followers you have. Since I'm just an average bum on the internet, me and other people I interact with on a daily basis don't really come across people who think this way. It's definitely more of an issue you see when, let's say, you encounter a group of spoiled teens, like LA Hills, that kind of area. This is especially prominent with teens who have a large following on the internet, and this concept that they need followers in order to be better, I use air quotes by the way, is extremely unhealthy and deludes their sense of reality. A perfect example of this is when everybody's favorite spoiled 13-year-old kisser, Zoe Laverne, had a complete mental breakdown when Charlie passed her in number of followers on TikTok.
She's so close to passing me, and everybody's reminding me that she's gonna pass me. And I just want to prove this bitch that I am better than her because I am Zoe fucking Laverne and I am literally the star of TikTok. And TikTok is putting me down.
That video is another reason why I extremely hate Zoe Laverne, and I think that she needs to be perma-banned from the internet, honestly. Frankly, her spoiled behavior amplified the reaction that she had. Not a lot of people have that extreme reactions when losing followers. But the point I'm going for here is that people with a following on social media can get so wrapped up in this sort of competition of who can bypass who, or who can hit the next milestone with followers, that it disconnects them from their audience and the people who genuinely support them. That clip they left in of Charlie saying that she wanted more followers only ended up feeding into the idea that she's only in TikTok for the fame or whatever. Despite that not being the case, I think she's just setting a goal for herself. You know, like most people do, because that's a healthy thing to keep yourself moving forward, is setting goals for yourself. Now, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned Trisha Paytas, who decided to insert herself into this drama by tweeting out that James Charles, who was at the dinner table because he was a family friend of the D'Amelios, was grooming Charlie. This is super odd because 1, James is gay, and 2, Trisha has had a history for thirst tweeting about minors, begging them to, quote, turn 18 already. So she's in no position to even begin to call someone out for predatory behavior. Also, does anybody find it a little too coincidental that she's best friends with Shane Dawson, who is revealed to have been wanting to take down James Charles and demolish his career for a number of years now? I'm not suggesting anything here, but honestly, I think it would make perfect sense if Shane, who as of now is teaching a return to the internet but sort of missing in action, put this idea into Trisha's head. Do what you will with what I just said, but it just makes too much sense considering Shane has a seething hatred for James at this point. Trisha also has a history of bullying Charlie and sending fans to hate on her, and this time was no different because Charlie later went on Instagram Live addressing not only the hate comments, but also addressed Trisha directly.
Other thing is, some people are just getting involved just to get involved. And like, I'm just gonna say it, Trisha Paytas, like, this is not, sorry, just, you have been completely rude to me multiple times. I'm gonna get stuff like people telling me to hurt myself, or people telling me like, you cannot like me but not attack the way I look, or the fact that you don't want me here. Like, that's where I kind of draw the line. And honestly, like, seeing how people reacted to this, like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Like, this is messed up stuff that people are saying. Like, people telling me to hang myself.
Now, the first thing I'm going to say is that this is a girl who is clearly having a mental breakdown, and anybody who is commenting that she needs to off herself just because of that stupid chef video, there's seriously something wrong with you, and I think you need help. That being said, I said this before, but the internet is not a place for the faint of heart. 1 second you can be loved by everybody, and the next second someone's saying you're worse than Hitler for doing something as stupid as dropping a Big Mac on the ground by accident. That was obviously an exaggeration, but you get my point. This video clearly shows that Charlie isn't ready for internet fame, or at the very least not ready to handle reactions and comments thrown her way. One of my criticisms of her is that she always goes onto Instagram Live or TikTok to address hate comments, which is something you shouldn't do. Ignoring those kinds of comments is what's best because addressing them just feeds into their craving attention for you. And the fact that she seems to personalize a lot of these comments further goes to show that she's not prepared enough to handle the amount of attention she's receiving. Acknowledging and responding to hate comments takes a toll on anybody, and she's clearly worn herself out from it. I think it's best that she takes a vacation or something away from the internet so she can clear her mind. I might not be a fan, but seeing a 16-year-old thrown into the spotlight and not knowing how to cope with it really upsets me, and I do hope she figures things out in the end so that she can be happy and healthy while keeping her career. Because face it, she shouldn't be losing her career over something like this. There's other people on the internet who do. Like Trisha. I don't like to point fingers, but in this situation, due to her need to amplify the situation and send hate over to Charlie, as well as rope in James Charles, I see Trisha Paytas as the person responsible for this drama lasting longer than it should, as well as Charlie feeling the need to quit everything altogether. Unfortunately, this is one of the more mild things she's done. For example, how she got her fans to bully someone off the internet, which not only lost them their career, but gave them PTSD and put them through years of therapy just due to the ruthlessness of her fans. That's one thing I don't seem to understand, is how after all this offensive and harmless stuff she does throughout her time on the internet, she still has people who support her. I'm genuinely confused why someone would want to support someone who bullies people, makes fun of mental disorders, and goes around encouraging people to off themselves on the daily just for the sake of stirring up drama and chaos. Trisha Paytas is another one of those people who needs to be wiped off the internet completely. Sadly, that'll probably never happen, but one can hope. And Trisha, if you ever see this, which I know you never will, I really hope you get some help, because not only is your behavior obnoxious and immature, but it's not normal, and I know you wake up every day hating yourself so much that you feel the need to sit around and deflect that negativity towards other people. That being said, I'm never going to talk about Trisha again. I just made this video in particular because not only is she fabricating false allegations similar to that of her racist buddy Shane, but her actions are directly causing a minor to mentally break down over something so insignificant and irrelevant. I don't really have much else to say. Sorry if this video felt jumbled. I just kind of put it all together last minute because I wanted to get this off my chest. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content. Again, I encourage anyone watching to look at the D'Amelio's original video to form your own opinions. It's always good to come to your own conclusions. Hopefully I'll be back soon in another video. I don't know when I'll be back since finals are creeping up. So until then, I hope y'all have a great day, and make sure not to harass or bully anyone over any stupid shit.